Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we have something really cool to check out. As you can see, we've got ourselves quite the interesting dinosaur figure here. This is actually by Cubo. Now this is an artist that I've never had the pleasure of checking out here on the channel, so I'm definitely excited to do so. And we can also see that we've got a really cool looking, I assume a raptor in here. It's very stylized, obviously more so based on like a Jurassic Park style raptor as opposed to a more accurate one, as we have like a skin texture kind of, in a way, sort of a look, but it's a really neat looking version. I don't even know that I would say it's like Jurassic Park stylized. It's like just its own individual styled version of a raptor. And you can see it comes in this really cool case. If you want, you can see up here again, you've got a code that you can scan, and you've also again got the information as far as their Instagram goes, where you can check them out and follow along with them on there. They actually have other figures out as well. This is the only dinosaur they currently have out, but they have other creatures, again, modern animals and stuff that they've created on there as well, which you can, of course, check out and, pick up for yourself. But you can see the background there also states Dino Bro, and again, Cubo, and has a T-Rex and a volcano and stuff back there, and then nothing really going on here on the back. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this open, and we'll check it out. So here is our raptor figure now out of the packaging, giving us a nice chance to actually take a look at it. And as you can see, it's definitely a very stylized version of a dinosaur. It's very clearly not meant to be any sort of like a super accurate version of a dinosaur. It's just a really neat, again, quite stylized version of a figure. But what I think is even cooler is the fact that, as you can see, it very much so is posable. So you can basically articulate the figure everywhere in pretty much any and every way you want, and it stays really nicely, which is really cool. I've never really seen a figure like this before, which you can see again has so much posability, almost having like a stop motion puppet sort of a feel, where you can basically put the body parts into any spot you want, and it stays so nicely, which I actually really quite like. You can see again, it is super, super cool. Now let's go ahead and get a feel for the legs. You can definitely extend the legs out and everything as well. And then I think we can articulate them. Yep, it was a little stiff at first, but as you can see, I think the arms articulate as well. Yes, definitely. So you can move the legs forward and back. They also have a little wiggle room left and right. And again, you can articulate the legs a little bit, and as you can see, you actually have another spot down here where you can articulate the feet, which is really cool. I kind of jumped straight past the closer look. I didn't even do that quite yet. Of course, there's not a whole lot of detail on the figure to really look at, but I was just so intrigued to check out the articulation aspect of this figure. And again, we continue to have the ability to articulate the legs, and again, continue to bend it basically any way you want. And again, we still have the articulation down here. What it seems like is it basically is like a wire, like it has a wire frame body inside, and then these pieces over top. And we've also, of course, got arm articulation on this side. Can go forward and back, and also out away from the body a little bit. And do we have jaw articulation? I'm a little concerned because I haven't moved it yet, so I want to be careful with it. Yes, we absolutely do. So you can actually get that mouth open pretty darn wide, which is really cool. You can see definitely a nice amount of length as far as the ability to open that. And then it closes pretty nicely as well. I feel like it almost looks like a mixture of like a T-Rex and a raptor, because it has like the, features of a raptor, but that head sculpt almost looks a little T-Rex-ish to me. I don't know. Either way, it does look super, super cool, and I just love this figure straight out of the gate because it is so different than any other figure that I have in my collection. But when you get nice and close, you can see the dinosaur is painted with a nice grayish tone, kind of like mixtures of grays, actually. You can see sort of like lighter tones showing up, almost brown. Yeah, definitely some brownish tones up here on the top, but then you have like mixtures of browns and grays here on the side of the face. You have a nice darkening there around the eye, and then we have a yellow eye with a black pupil, and then all of the teeth are sculpted out individually very nicely and painted very nicely. Again, you can see the precision of the paintwork is really well done. There is just no sloppiness that I'm noticing on the figure at all. I don't know if there was anything inside the mouth. Really a whole lot going on in there. I didn't really pay much attention when I just opened it a moment ago. But as you move back into the body, again, when it comes to the look and feel of the skin texture, you're not really going to see a whole lot when it comes to fine detail through the body as far as the texturing and everything goes, almost kind of having like a scoot-like look, actually, of like ridges that basically move along the back on both sides of the spinal column, and then almost like scoots that are kind of like the appearance of scales, like really large scales sort of moving through the body, and then just bumpy osteoderms through the course of the face on both the upper and lower jaws. You see pretty much the same thing moving down into the arms. Again, those really kind of bumpy scales leading down, and then you've got the fingers sculpted, and again, the nails sculpted quite nicely as well, and painted with a white, you can see pretty nicely. And then as you move back into the legs, again, the same style as far as the overall visual of the body goes. Moving down, you do have dew claws sculpted out and painted, and they actually have a really nice, genuine, sharp look to them, which is really cool. And as you can see, there's a little flex to them as well, which is nice. And then moving down into the feet, we can see our sickle claw, of course. You can also see the claws in general. Also have, again, that nice sharp look to them without actually being like, you know, really sharp. Like they're not anything that I feel like you're going to get hurt with, which is definitely a plus. And you can see the toes and everything sculpted quite nicely. Again, the nails painted with that white. And then you lead out into the tail. And although the tail is obviously a bit short, the entire figure in general is stylized, very much so, and meant to be stylized. You can see actually the underside also sports a little bit of a different look to the skin texture, as we have kind of just like some small bumps, some small scales moving along the underside. And you can see again Cubo on the underside as far as the name of the artist and company. But it looks very cool. It definitely is such a unique figure, very different from anything that I have in my collection. And look at that, as you can see, it stands really quite nicely as well. And I think the position it's in would probably be a pretty good way to measure it. So lengthwise, you were looking at about 6.5 inches or just shy of that, or around the 16.5 centimeter mark. Now I knocked it over. And then for a height, if we get it standing up nice and tall, it's not super tall, it could definitely go up higher. But at this point, you're looking at about 3 3/4 inches or around 9.5 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Clovosaurus, Robert Muldoon in the Collect Day human being next to our Cubo Raptor figure. And you can see again, it's pretty small, but not super small. Definitely has a fairly nice, convenient size for this type of figure, which is a plus. You can definitely see it's very similar to the Attack Pack, Danger Pack size range. And to show you that, we've also got a Mattel Velociraptor and Dilophosaurus, but specifically with the Mattel Velociraptor going face-to-face with the Cubo version, you can basically see they are very similar in size, with the Mattel Raptor having a little bit more length in the tail, but overall extremely similar in size, which should help to give you a good idea of the size of this figure. So honestly, this figure is really fun. Again, if you're not really into stylized dinosaur figures, maybe you won't enjoy this one so much, but if you are like me and you love dinosaurs of all shapes and sizes, all sorts of styles, I think you're going to dig this one because it's just so different from everything else that I've seen out there. I love the overall style of this, which the style of this also kind of follows generally the style of his figures overall. If you go check out their Instagram account and take a look at the other figures that they have, they all kind of have the same similar look, which is really cool. I love when a company can create something, but they create something in a way where they kind of put out their own style, and that's exactly what Cubo has done here with this figure, and in general the figures that he is selling currently and making. Again, they all have the same kind of look and feel, which is definitely a plus, and I think overall he's done a very good job on this figure. The fact that it is incredibly posable is super cool and super fun, but also the fact that, again, it has that Cubo look and feel while still having some fairly impressive paint application to it, as he has applied different variations of color and everything through the course of the entire body. Like I could see brown and grayish tones moving through the entire body, and is very smoothly applied, and you can even see in the face, again, the transitioning between colors is also really quite smooth. But I love the creativity and uniqueness of this figure. The articulation also works quite nicely and quite smoothly overall. And again, very nice precise paintwork when you look at like the eyes and the teeth and the nails and everything. Honestly, it's a very cool figure and definitely a figure that I recommend picking up. If you are interested, I will include a link in the description to where you can grab one again from Cubo. So make sure you check that link. Definitely pick this figure up. Follow them on Instagram and like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.